We're talking about what mapping is in Python programming language. I'm going to make use of Lambda to handle this mapping. What mapping actually does is just basically simple. Map function applies a function to every item in an iterable. It can be a list, it can be a tuple, it can also be a string. So we're going to use Lambda to achieve this mapping in this video. So we know in our previous video we talked about how to create and how lambdas work. So in this video, I'm going to make use of Lambda to achieve this. Let's create an iterable, or we're going to create a list. Let's call it object. Let's say obj. Let's say I'm going to give it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to create a lambda. I will know. Let's store it in a variable called lambda. Okay, let me just say lambda. Which variable should I use? Let's give it var, for example, and then lambda. Is that to create a lambda? So what we want to do, lambda must have an argument. I talked about things that lambda take what is called an argument and the expression. So let's give it an argument x. We can do x times 2, for example. When I run this, okay, let me run this print var. Our x is going to be, let's say, 6. We know that 6 times 2 is 12. So let's apply mapping to this using this iterable. So what is going to happen? Okay, let me type and then explain what is going to happen. We're going to use what is called map. Remember, it's a built-in function in Python programming language. What is it going to? Let's call the obj. So with this, we don't need the x. I'm not going to declare the x any longer. So what is happening here? When I call the map, what is mapping doing is you apply what is called an iterable. The map function applies a function to every iterable, meaning what is going to happen here is going to say x times 2. So it's going to come here. Since this map takes two arguments, which is the function and the iterable. So this x is going to be each of the items here. So the first, initially, s is going to be 1, and then 1 times 2 is going to be 2. Second is going to be 2. So 2 times 2 is going to be 4. Let's run and see the output on the screen. Sorry, I made a mistake. Don't need for this. Sorry for that. As you can see, when I ran that, it turned what is called a map object. So for us to actually see an output on it, we need to turn it to a list by typing list. I talked about data type conversion. So if you haven't watched that video, please don't make sure to check it out so you won't get all this confusing. So what is going to happen, since we were returned a map object type, so for us to see the output that is being gotten by this lambda, we need to turn it to a list. So when we run it, this is what we're going to get. You can see 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Because like I said, initially it's going to be s is going to be 1, and then it's going to 2 is going to times 1, which is going to be 2. So at this last, our x was 6, and then 6 times 2 is 12. That's where we're able to get all these outputs. So map just basically applies a function to every items in the iterable. So this function that is here is going to be applied to every values that is in this object variable. So this is just basically how mapping works. Like I said, remember what I said earlier, mapping applies a function to every item in an iterable. So this is just basically what it does. Here's a recap of what we did in this video. We created a variable, gave it a list of items. We created a variable var which holds the lambda function, and we apply the mapping to that of our function. So this is our map function. And what does mapping do? It makes every iterable you give it. It applies this function to every iterables that you give it. So this function that happened there is going to be applied these iterables on it. And then if we don't use this list, it's going to print out an map object for us. So we need to make use of this for us to see the output. So this is basically how mapping works. There's still other ways that mapping works, but we're going to stop here for now, so it won't get confusing and overwhelming as a beginner. So I've come to the end of this video. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe and like. You can also share if you think is worth sharing. So I'll see you in my next video. Thank you for watching.